Hi guys, my name is Rania. I'm a fitness coach, yoga instructor, and prenatal, postnatal certified here at Dynamic Fitness. We're gonna work through a full yoga flow that's easy enough for you to do before iftar as well as after, as long as you allow your body enough time to digest. You're gonna feel relaxed and rejuvenated as long as you listen to your body and practice safely. We are gonna work through progressions and regressions so you can customize it according to how intense or how relaxed you want the practice to be. We're gonna start with a breathing called umbrella breath. We tend to breathe very shallow, so our shoulders come up and down a lot, rather than thinking of it like a 3D experience. Your chest is supposed to come forward, lungs as well coming towards the arms and also the back. So the lungs are used as efficiently as possible. So I want you to try to find a seated position that's comfortable for you. So I'm gonna sit like this. I'm using a block. You can use a pillow. I'm gonna go underneath. You can also sit in cross-legged as long as it's not asymmetrical. I like to use my fingers forward and thumb back, so I can really focus on the breath. Try to relax my heart rate. I inhale and out. Try to only breathe from the nose, but if you prefer, you can exhale from your mouth as well, as long as you don't inhale from your mouth. So if you notice my hands, they're expanding and they contract. If you would like to progress this, try to challenge yourself so that the inhalations and exhalations are 1 second or 2 seconds longer than your regular breathing rate. The next pose we're going to be doing is called cat-cow. It's good to maintain a healthy spine. We're going to inhale when the chest drops and exhale when we round the back. I want you to make sure that your fingers are spread, index finger is forward, and you're grabbing onto the mat. That will protect your forearm and your wrist. So if you notice, my wrist is under my shoulder and my knees underneath my hips. I'm gonna inhale and then exhale. The next pose is called bird dog. You're gonna extend the opposite limb. I wanna see thumb upwards and I wanna see big toe of the back leg down to maintain balanced pelvis. You're going to make sure that you're looking at one point in the floor that's not moving to maintain your balance. This is good for the core as well as the spine. As you notice, it's going to be the same placement as cat-cow. The next one is called lizard pose. As you can see, I have 2 blocks at the front of me. You can use whatever you have at home. For example, thick books to help you extend the length of your arms and for you to be able to move in the pose as healthily as possible for your joints. This is good to open up and stretch your hip flexors, your quads, and then your glutes. I place my blocks underneath my hand and I'm going to extend my right foot aligned with my hands. As you can see, I extended the back leg because everyone's built differently. You have to adjust according to your body. I lengthen forward and then I go back. Try to make sure, if you have sensitive knees, to make sure you're on a padded surface and not on the floor. The next thing we're going to be doing is called a vinyasa flow. I'm going to show you the standard variation and then the regression and the progression. This depends on how much energy you have in the day and how long have you been practicing yoga or fitness in general. There are 4 poses, and then once you get used to all 4 individually, you can wrap them up in a cycle and also use the breath to challenge yourself even more. The first is called down dog. Make sure you bend your knees because it's quite aggressive in the back of the legs. The second one is a plank, very standard plank. Number 3 is called chaturanga, or we're just going to call it a reverse push-up. You're just going to come down exactly as a push-up. Number 4 is a cobra, like this. Push back. I'll now demonstrate all of them together, the regression version and then the progression version. To make it easier on the joints, this is the regressed version of it. Basically in plank, we're going to have our knees down to make it easier on our core and on our arms. The progression variation, you're going to move with control and you can lift up 1 foot at a time in your plank. If you have a little bit more energy to spare and you're pretty warmed up, this next pose is called crow pose. Again, I'll show you the standard variation, the regression and progression. I want you to make sure your arms are shoulder width distance, spread your fingers and grab onto the mat. Your knees are going to be between your elbow and your shoulder. You have to hug in your arm as much as possible or else your knee is going to slip. Look at 1 point in the floor that's not moving and look forward. If you look at your feet, the body will try to flip over. This is the standard variation. My knees are on the outside, I grip and my hips are up. You can stay as long as you want, ideally 7 breaths, which means 1 minute, and you can do it 3 times. The next one is the regression, to prepare you to eventually go to the standard variation. I grab onto 1 block. My feet is going to be on the block to help support the weight higher up. I want you to make sure that you're never jumping into it in crow pose. The last one is the progression version. You're gonna go from crow pose to half a push-up, not to a plank. Going to a plank will injure your lower back. In order to cool down, we're gonna follow up by 3 standard stretches for the arms. I'm going to massage from my wrist all the way to my elbow and then back. Place your arm onto the floor. Use the palm of the opposite hand to massage it forward and back and crisscross. I'm trying to avoid my joint and I'm only working on the muscle. All the way to the elbow, all the way back. The next one, you're going to bring your palm towards the floor and fingers back. This might be intense, so please listen to your body. As you can see, I'm grounding my palm towards the floor so I can use this stretch efficiently. The last one, palm up, but fingers back. Here, down and up. The most common mistake I see is a lot of compression in the neck and shoulders, like this. We want to avoid that. Open up the heart, lean back and forward. That's it for this episode with Healthy Fasting. Ramadan Kareem.